Let's say you have this Illustrator file and you want to hand it off to someone else so they can edit it. The file I have open is called Napa Valley, and you can find it in the Chapter 9 folder of the project files. And when you hand this off to your coworker, you want to make sure that when they edit, they have full access to the linked files. Now you can see here we have this background image that's linked. We have the bottle that's linked. There's also text here, and this text is using a font called Knickerbocker, no K at the beginning. It's invented by a fellow whose name is Nick. And if you want to use this font, it's freeware, and it's also in the Chapter 9 folder of the project files. Both Windows and Mac, you can simply right-click the Knickerbocker nf.ttf and install it. Now, let's say you do that on your computer and you hand off this AI file to someone else. You want to make sure that they also have this freeware font available. Well, one way you could do it is make sure, okay, what's the name of this image and what's the name of that image and what did he say is the name of the font, and you could find it all over the place and maybe put it into a folder and zip it up. And that's cool, but Illustrator makes that so much easier for you because it will package everything together for you. If you use Adobe InDesign or QuarkXPress and a few other programs, you'll be familiar with this idea of packaging. Also, as part of this file, the text, this kind of scribbly text, I'm using the scribble effect, and also the box here you see has a feathered edge. I'm using an effect for that, and I've created styles for both of these, and I did that just to show that styles are part of the Illustrator file, and when you go and package this for output, Illustrator will not take those styles and save them as independent files and package them for you. And there's really no need because styles come as part of this document. If all you're interested in is the style, sending those styles on to someone, we covered that earlier in this course. So let's go and package this. All I'm going to do is go up here to the File menu, and down here towards the bottom, I'll choose Package. Let's move this here. And this asks for the location. And I just have this in the same Chapter 9 folder where this came from. I recommend that you put it there. If you want to put it somewhere else, that's fine. And it also asks for a folder name. And it's simply taking the name of the file and appending an underscore folder. To eliminate any confusion, I'm going to change this to Napa-package. And you see it has a bunch of options. Do you want to copy the links? Well, that's kind of the whole point. Do you want to put it in a separate folder? And that's what's going on here. Do you want to relink files? And that's really important. You really do want to do this because that means that when this Illustrator file is in the new folder, and Illustrator is going to make a copy of this document, you want to be sure that Illustrator is looking at this new folder it's creating for the images rather than backwards up the folder tree for the old ones. That's kind of the whole point of packaging. And do you want to copy fonts? And will it create a report? So I'm going to leave all of these selected and click Package. And this gives you a warning about fonts, that some fonts may be restricted. Now, once you've read this and internalized it and can repeat it from memory, you can always click here, Don't Show Again, and it won't bother you anymore. I'll click OK. And it says, okay, yeah, we've done it successfully. Now, if you simply click OK, the dialog box goes away and you're right back in Illustrator, and you really wouldn't know that anything's happened. Then you would have to go and open up Windows File Explorer or the Mac Finder to find it. So to make things a little easier and faster, I'm going to click here, Show Package, and it'll open up. And here is Windows File Explorer, and you can see there's a Chapter 9 folder, and here's the Napa package folder that I created. And here is the Illustrator file. Here are fonts. There's the Knickerbocker font. Links. Here are the two images that I had in there. Let's go back. And here is the report that it created. Let me double click that and let's see what it says. This opens up in my default text editor. You may have the same or a different text editor. It doesn't really matter. And it tells you, okay, here's the package report. Here's the name of the document, that it's RGB, color profile, how big it is, how wide and how high, are there missing fonts, etc., and all this. So this is some really good information if you need to save it. I'm just going to close this. So now, when you're ready to hand this off to someone, you can simply take all of these files and folders and zip them and give it to your coworker however you like. That is, you can put it on a thumb drive or send it to Dropbox or however you want to do that. So you can see that it makes life a lot easier for you. It collects the images, collects your fonts, creates a copy of the file to work with, so you don't have to do it all on your own. I think this is a really great time saver.